FC Farmer here with your Saturday on the farm, playing Farming Simulator 2013. We're here in Westbridge Hills for part 2 of our episode. We just completed the canola harvest. We're going to start in on the corn harvest. Go to the map view here. We can see fields 5 and 6 have been harvested. Field 16 still waiting to harvest. We did have canola on those fields. We got corn here. Okay, let's get into it. I got my John Deere 2058 with my 6-row corn header attached on the front here. We're ready to go. And there's my trailer over there. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to see how quickly this combine fills up. If it fills up pretty quickly, I'm having to unload fairly often. I already have a course place set up for the trailer over there to go from there and unload in the silos. So if we're filling up pretty quick, I may run that course play. We'll see. Let's go ahead and get our combine ready here. Open up our grain tank flaps. Open up our stairs into the position that I would like them to be. Keeping the chopper disengaged, or the chopper engaged, I mean. It's corn. You don't get straw from corn anyway, but that's right. I have the GPS mod set up, although I don't think I'm going to use it, at least right away. So, let's get into it. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this field up. Get some rows going on the edges. Now, most likely I will not... I'm going to harvest this a little differently. I think I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn the GPS on just keep me straight here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, it looks good. I don't think I'm going to continue to drive up the field this way. And the reason is, when I was actually planting this field, the hill is much steeper here. You can kind of see how the land appears to go flat and then really go uphill steeply. Just to the right of the field is that hill where we actually tried to cart some grain up and we couldn't make it. The harvester should be able to make it up this, but when I was planting, once you got to that hill, you were going about 1 mile per hour trying to plant up that. The hill on the other side of this field is much more gradual. So when I was planting this, I actually started going the direction I'm going now on the other side of the field, and then I would come over to this side of the field and come down this hill. Then I would go back to the other side of the field and back up, and so forth. So I think we will probably do something along those lines. But first we're going to see how the harvester reacts to this hill. We'll see if it does end up going pretty slow or not. Right now I have the cruise control 1 set. We're going about 3.8 miles per hour. It's not really trying to go much faster than that. I think we could probably go faster than that if we wanted. You saw I missed some spots, so I'm also not harvesting the full width of the corn head here. Now we get into the full width, and the speed's dropping to about 3.7 as we head up this hill. If I can keep my speed up around 4 even going up this hill, then I won't really worry about it, and I'll just go up this way. Yeah, I mean, it's still staying up there, so. Yeah, well, maybe we won't do that then. Our speed's staying up there pretty good. And on this pass, we're going to fill up, what, 13%, looks like. maybe 14. If you add in those spots that we missed planting, probably 14% or so. Get an idea of how many passes through a field we're going to be able to make before we have to go fill up. So we should be able to make 6 passes or 3 rounds up and down the field before we have to fill up, or before we have to go unload, I mean. This combine holds 7,000 liters. Our trailer holds, let's see, for canola it held about 16,600 or somewhere in there liters. So you're looking at unloading the combine twice and needing to unload that trailer. That's six rounds. That's not too many unloadings, so we may just go ahead and continue with our one-man harvest here. Make sure I'm not missing any grain here. Alright, good. Now, I did not fertilize this field. So, whatever yield we get on this field will be an unfertilized yield. When we finish up with this harvest of corn, I will crunch some numbers. I know about how much fertilizer, solid fertilizer, I use per hectare, and I know how much the fertilizer costs per liter, so we'll work that out. We should be able to calculate how much it would have cost us to fertilize this field, and obviously fertilizing the field doubles your yield, so we should be able to work that out all fairly easily. And then we can compare our corn and canola harvests and see what's the better crop. Now, it's not really going to change how I play, whichever crop is better. We're still going to rotate crops just like occurs around here in the United States where I live. So either way, we're going to come back and plant canola in this field, and we'll plant corn in fields 5 and 6, and we'll keep rotating them that way. Actually, in this field, I think I'm going to plant some winter wheat. And so that's how we'll simulate the winter season. We'll plant that wheat, and when it is harvest ready, or actually a little before it's harvest ready, well, I'll have to think about how I want to do that. We may just let it get harvest ready, harvest it, and then plant our corn and canola, and sort of keep our seasons, our simulated seasons, going that way. Winter wheat in my region of the Midwest is not exceptionally common, although you do see it. But you know, you plant it once you harvest, and it grows, and you typically harvest it in mid or early July, late June, early July, and then quickly plant soybeans back in the field and get a soybean harvest in during your sort of normal harvest time. So that's what we'll be trying to simulate. Obviously, we don't have soybeans here in Westbridge Hills. Again, canola is serving as our soybean stand-in for this game. And I think it's actually a pretty good one. Soybean has considerably less yield than corn, but sells for a considerably higher price. So, which is sort of like canola in this game. So that's why we're using it. And I didn't want to use wheat because I intend to plant winter wheat. So. And the life of a farmer. So we're about to complete one full lap around the field. 35% full on the harvester. We'll go ahead and make a few back and forth passes here on the end to give myself some working room. And I'll go back to the other end and do the same. And since after this harvest we're gonna have we'll have some cash, we need to decide what our next move is going to be. What piece of equipment do we want to try to get when we have sufficient money for it? I have not yet decided whether I want to do cows on this map or not. I'm thinking maybe not, because I don't really like how the grass looks on this particular map, but we can. So if you want me to do cows, leave some comments and tell me that you would like to have me do cows, and we'll consider it. I'm thinking my next purchase might need to be a more powerful tractor. As I said, when I was planting this field, going up this hill, I was moving about 1 mile per hour, so it was pretty slowly creeping along. So I'm thinking that the more powerful tractor might need to be the next purchase. We're going to be working this field quite a bit, so I really would like to have a tractor that's able to handle the hills on this field without so much trouble. Nope. But, you know, I'll also entertain some comments from you guys. What would you like to see me purchase as my next, with the money that we're gonna make? With that sale of canola, we're looking at about $160,000. With the sale of corn, I don't know, I would guess corn's probably at least as profitable as the canola is, so you're probably looking at another $60,000 to $80,000 there, maybe. So, you know, $220,000, or around $200,000 maybe. So let me know what you guys think. Here at the end of the episode, I'll show you. We'll cart some grain. We'll get a good idea of how much money we have, and then I'll open up the store and we'll take a look at what kind of tractors we have that we might be able to afford. Obviously, all the base game tractors that have been converted to more realistic will be in there and available for us, so we might buy one of those in-game tractors, or some of the converted mod tractors that I have as well. So we'll take a look at that and you guys can tell me what you think. I think I'm going to go ahead and pause the game, or pause the video here, while I just continue to harvest this field. Again, you know, harvesting is not exceptionally exciting when you're watching it on video, just driving back and forth up a field. So I'll go ahead and pause the video. I'll come back when we have this harvest completed, probably, and then we will start taking some grain to sell points and making some money, which is always a fun time. So I'll see you in a bit. So we're back here. See, we're just finishing up the corn harvest. Got this one pass left here and we'll finish it up. I already filled up the trailer once, took it and put it in the silos. 13,191 liters of corn. I've also emptied the combine once more into the trailer, so it's holding 6,700 liters. And by the time we get down to the end of here, we'll have another 57 or 5,800 liters to add to it. So we'll be looking at about 25,000 liters, I think, from this field. And remember, that is unfertilized, so whatever we do end up pulling off this field, if we had fertilized, we would double our yield. So we'll calculate that up, figure it out. So for anybody who's wondering, I looked at the data PDF that's included with the More Realistic mod version 1.1, and it does talk about, I believe, solid manure, liquid manure, and liquid fertilizer, and what the usage is per hectare. But it doesn't include anything about solid fertilizer. So what I have found when I fertilized the fields 5 and 6 was about 650 to 700. Hard to be exactly accurate because unlike seeding and stuff like that, you know, with fertilizer, if there's overlap, you don't. It's just wasted. So it puts out a certain amount per second, whether you are already going over stuff that's been fertilized or you're not even in your field or whatever. So on the field 5, I used it was about 691 liters per hectare. Field 6 was a little less than that. So I'm guessing the usage for that is somewhere around 650, 675 liters per hectare. When I filled up the fertilizer, it was $9.85 per liter. So with that, we can calculate approximately how much it's going to take to fertilize a field. It might cost a little extra if you waste some, but so if we calculated about 650, we'll say 650 liters per hectare times 985 per liter, you're looking at about $6,500 per hectare to fertilize. So in a field like this field is 2.74 hectares, you'd be looking at about $17,500. Whoops, keep hitting the wrong button there. We're going to go ahead, and take the combine back, go ahead and park it, and then we'll come pick up the trailer and dump it. And we're gonna go sell some grain. So write this down. Whoops, not watching where I'm going. Good job. 12. Okay, so here, once I get this parked, I'll do some quick calculations. Figure out exactly. Actually, take that back. I'll just go dump it in the silos, and we'll get an exact number of liters that we harvested from that field. Okay, gotta go exterior view here to see, back it into its proper spot. Alright. Let's go get in the tractor. So, let's see, what did we have? 13,191. We had 12,441 added to that. So 25. 25,633. So if you double that, you're looking at about 51,000 liters that we would have yielded had we used the fertilizer. So, nope, getting a little ahead of myself. Alright. So the price for canola is still pretty good. We're going to take that first to the diner there and sell it, since the price is pretty good for that. And then after that, we'll probably take some corn. The corn prices aren't great. They're okay. Again, the base price for canola is $400. The base price for corn is $190. So use that to judge whether you're at a good price or not. We'll probably go ahead and sell the corn today, just to go ahead and get the money from it. Okay. Dump that out there. $25,632. Okay, so $25,632. We didn't have any fertilizer cost because we didn't fertilize. So if we were to sell that, the density for corn Give me 1 second. I need to reference real quick my data sheet. The density for corn is 0.82. So 0.82 times that 25,000 number gives us 21,018 kilograms. We'll multiply that out times the price. We're looking at $49,182. And again, it cost us $11,385 to seed that field. So for 2 hectares, you're looking at, or almost 3 hectares, you're $38,000, $12,000, a little over $12,000 per hectare, unfertilized. It's not bad. If we take that same 25,632, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and get under here and start loading up with some canola. 25,632 and double that for the yield. You'd be looking at 51,264 liters. Works out to 42,000 roughly kilograms at the current price. You'd be looking at about $98,000. But then you have the added price of the fertilizer. So subtract out 11,385 for planting the seed. Now you're looking at about $87,000. Minus another $18,000, $18,649. So now you're looking at about $68,000. But that's still roughly $25,000 per hectare. So that's pretty good if we would have fertilized that. The reason I didn't fertilize it in the first place was at the time when I was getting ready to do the fertilizer, I didn't have very much money. And since fertilizer is just incredibly expensive, I knew that I was not going to have enough money to fertilize it. So I didn't fertilize it. From now on, that won't be a problem. Remember that with this more realistic mod, as you're buying your equipment and things, make sure you keep enough money to be able to seed your fields. I mean, that field 16 is about, it's less than 3 hectares. It cost me $11,000 to seed it, and if I was to fertilize it, it would cost me another $18,000. So you're looking at $30,000 there to seed. And by the way, in one of the previous videos, we thought maybe the diner was in this area, up at that sell point. That is not the diner. That is the flour mill. Online, I was able to find a nice labeled map of Westbridge Hills, so I know where all the sell points are. And the diner is actually up here on top of the hill. So we are going to ever so slowly creep our way up this hill and go sow some canola. Oops, past the page I wanted. Hopefully we can make it up this hill and not tip backwards like we did on that other hill. That was pretty funny. So we've passed 8 o'clock now. It took us roughly 3 hours to harvest those 2 fields, or 3 fields, I'm sorry. So, not too bad. my goodness. Oh, and here we go. And tipping back. Oh yes. Fun times in Westbridge Hills. We're gonna crash. Oh. Made it without crashing. Alright, we might have to zigzag up this hill. We might not make zigzagging up the hill either. And we are going to slide backwards soon. Oh, more realistic mod. You make things so much more complicated now. So, this is a good example of why I think our first equipment purchase might need to be... Oh, stop. Might need to be a bigger tractor, because if we have to come sell at the diner, we can't make it up the hill with a full load. Come on, tractor. Come on. Nope, we're not going to make it this way then. Alright, well, we are just going to have to drive around, unfortunately. So, up and over here. What would be the best way to go about this? Looks like from where I'm at now, going up around this way and back down here, it's going to be the best bet. So, let's go for a scenic tour. Based on time, I'm guessing we'll probably sell this load of canola, and that's going to be about it. That I'll show you guys at least. I will go ahead and sell the canola and the corn, all the canola and all the corn, and because I really want to get some numbers to work with, so I'll do that off screen, and in the description of the video I will post how much money we made for those. So, keeping things interesting here with the more realistic mod, we can't even drive up a hill to sell our grain. So, because driving around here is just so far out of our way, there's only 1,600 liters of canola left in the silo. So realistically, what I should have done is about half fill the trailer, a little more than half fill the trailer, and take it up that way. Because I have made it up the hill before with this tractor and that trailer, just filled with a different crop that obviously didn't weigh as much. I don't think I had the trailer completely full at that time either, so that's something that you'll have to keep in mind when using the more realistic mod. You aren't going to want to fill the whole trailer up at times. And it's going to be very, very beneficial for you to upgrade tractors when you can and get more powerful tractors. This map may actually be a little worse than Hagenstedt from the standpoint of hills. I mean, right next to your farm, if you want to go to the west of your farm, there's two just massive hills you have to go up. which when you're carting stuff can really cause a problem. So powerful tractors are going to be the name of the game here. So what we'll do, I'll sell this, I'll sell the rest of the stuff on screen, and I think the first thing we'll do in the next episode is we'll look into buying a new tractor. At that point, I will know how much money we've made off of our harvest, and we'll have a good idea of how much money is available to spend. What I will most likely do is sell this tractor as well as that Ford tractor and just use one tractor. At this point in time, I'm really not using multiple tractors, so there's no need to have multiple tractors. So I'll sell both of those and put them towards a new one. Let's see, which field are we driving by right now? Number 12. That is a good sized field there. I would like to, at some point, you know, expand my acreage and maybe buy field 10 or 17. Keep it kind of close together to what I already have and to the farm. But I think before I do that, I'm gonna want a bigger harvester. We'll see. Right now I've been kind of running a one-man farm operation. I have the Courseplay mod, so if I do some careful recording, I can use the Courseplay mod to help me out and simulate a worker that I've hired on the farm. I could also let a hired worker do the harvesting and cart the grain myself. And as we expand our acreage, we'll probably need to do one of those things. So. But first things first, we need a new tractor. Okay, so this is the diner. You can see it even says Uncle Pete's Excellent Diner. Go ahead, hop up here. So we currently have $76,806. Start selling it. So that load of canola, $54,565. That helps out the bank account for sure. So off screen, I'll continue to sell this stuff. I will put the money we made from canola and corn in the description, and I will also work out corn, the price if we would have fertilized the field as well, so you can see the comparison between canola and corn. And then in the next episode we'll have some money and we'll go buy a new toy, I think. So real quickly, we'll go look through the store. Actually, I do need to go to mods. So what we'll be looking at, I definitely want to stick with an MR tractor. So You have any of the stock game tractors which have been converted to MR we could buy. And they're actually not exceptionally expensive. I mean, the most powerful one with 310 horsepower is only $168,000. So we could buy any of those tractors. We probably won't do the Steigers yet. We also have an MR Case CVX 175 horsepower tractor for $112,000. The Schluter 1500, and then a bunch of old MR, the Farming Classics mod. Somebody converted these to MR. Obviously, we're not going to buy one of those. We also have the Fendt 936, 360 horse, $237,000. A John Deere 6170R, 170 horse. 6210R with 210 horse. The Mercedes-Benz Track 900, 90 horse. I'm not going to buy that because that's less horsepower than we currently have. A New Holland at 196 horsepower. And or the John Deere 8630R at 395 horsepower. So, if you want me to buy any of those particular ones, if you have a preference, just go ahead and leave a comment and say which one you think I should buy. And I will most definitely take that into consideration. Obviously, we want to up our horsepower from what we currently have. And this thing's got about 135 horsepower, so we want to go above that. So, this is FC Farmer, Plain Farming Simulator 2013. Until next time, I hope you enjoy.